Welcome to the weekly market wrap-up. I'm Hannah Bernard. It was a dull day for markets Thursday as traders took a midsummer holiday after churning out another record close on Wednesday, thanks to strong results from companies like Apple and Delta. How did things pan out for this week? Let's find out. It was a strong week for the S&P 500's big basket of stocks, while the Dow and the Nasdaq struggled. The Dow slid Wednesday, and on Thursday it continued by dropping another 2.83 points to close down at 17,083. The S&P 500 notched its 26th record close of the year on Wednesday and inched higher on Thursday for its 27th, closing up just 0.97 for another record at 1,987. And finally, the Nasdaq also wilted, sliding 1.59 points on Thursday to close at 4,472. Now let's turn to Canadian markets, which delivered a decent week. The TSX has been trading at record high levels for much of July and touched a new high of 15,409 just after open on Thursday, only to settle in with a 0.07 gain to close at 15,394. Trading on the TSX Venture Exchange was a bit more choppy this week. However, it only gave back 0.58 points on Thursday to close at 1,011. Wall Street continues to applaud healthy report cards from corporate America. Not only are the vast majority of companies beating earnings expectations, they are also exceeding revenue forecasts. Of the 148 members of the S&P 500 that have reported earnings as of Wednesday, 102 have been better than expected, according to the S&P Capital IQ. That's a positive sign for the economy, and the effect has been the surge in stock prices we've been witnessing and the record-breaking performance of the S&P 500. So let's hope it continues. Good news from Apple drove market action this week. Shares of the world's largest company jumped almost 3% after Apple reported a better-than-expected quarterly increase in sales and profits. Investors largely overlooked a more cautious outlook for the current quarter, as well as slowing iPad sales, and rewarded the tech giant with a healthy bump in stock price. Apple closed on Wednesday less than 4% away from its split-adjusted record high of nearly $101 set in September 2012. Facebook shares hit a record high on Thursday after a surge in mobile advertising revenue helped the world's #1 social network trounce analysts' expectations for quarterly profit and revenue. Facebook reported its mobile advertising revenue grew an outstanding 151% in the second quarter, accounting for about 62% overall ad revenue. Facebook's stock shot up 5.2% to close at $74.98. At that price, Facebook's market value is just short of $200 billion, putting the company in position to take over IBM Corp as the 4th largest US-listed tech company. The top 3 are Apple, Google, and Microsoft. Now to winners and losers and our picks for the week. The winner for this week is Puma Biotechnology Inc., ticker symbol PBYI. Investors who bought shares in Puma Biotechnology before closing on Tuesday hit the jackpot on Wednesday, as shares skyrocketed nearly 300%, jumping from $60 to close at $233.43. Yes, the massive surge came on the announcement that the clinical trial of its experimental drug blocked the return of breast cancer in some women. Puma Biotechnology is a small biotech firm specializing in developing novel therapies for the treatment of cancer. The astounding 300% stock jump made the CEO an overnight billionaire. And the loser for this week is Tupperware Brands Corp., ticker symbol TUP. Shares in Tupperware tanked on Wednesday, down $8.90, or just over 10% to close at $75.78. The fall came after the company lowered its full-year guidance following worse-than-expected second-quarter earnings results. Tupperware develops, manufactures, and internationally distributes its patented line of plastic preparation and storage containers for the kitchen and home, which were first introduced to the public in 1948. Well, those are our winners and losers for this week, and now it's time to check in on the gains that you could have locked in by following the weekly watch list from Robert James and Viral Stocks. right, that's enough about this week. Now let's turn to BayStreet.ca's look at the week ahead and the snapshot of what analysts are forecasting for companies whose earning reports are coming out next week. Here are 3 U.S. stocks to watch. First up on Monday is Herbalife Limited with an EPS forecast of $1.57 compared to $1.41 in the prior year quarter. Activist investor Bill Ackman, whose hedge fund placed a $1 billion U.S. bet that Herbalife will go bust under regulatory scrutiny, told a conference of investors in New York that the firm's recruiting methods violate U.S. labor laws. Next up on Tuesday is Canadian-based Ballard Power Systems Inc. with an EPS forecast for a loss of 3 cents compared to a loss of 5 cents in the prior year quarter. Finally, on Friday is Procter & Gamble Co. with an EPS forecast of 91 cents compared to 79 cents in the prior year quarter. Here are 3 Canadian stocks to watch next week. First up on Tuesday is Suncor Energy Inc. with an EPS forecast of 97 cents compared to 62 cents in the prior year quarter. Next up on Thursday is Goldcorp Inc. with an EPS forecast of 15 cents compared to 14 cents in the prior year quarter. Last month, the gold giant reminded holders of shares in Gold Eagle Mines Limited that the sunset clause on exchanging these shares for common shares in Goldcorp Inc. and cash expires near the end of September, and to get a move on it. Finally, on Friday is Catamaran Corporation with an EPS forecast of 51 cents compared to 49 cents in the prior year quarter. And that wraps it up. Thanks again so much for joining us for another weekly market wrap-up. Before you head out, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel or podcast on iTunes and to find us on Facebook and on Twitter. For Viral Network News and BayStreet.ca, I'm Hannah Bernard.